Hello, my viewers. Welcome once again to the Hugar Social Academy. We were on the topic of our third session, the chapter called as India after Independence from the history part of class 10 standard. In last two sessions, we studied how the India got its independence, what were the problems of refugees, how the communist problems were being, how the communalism problem was being solved, how preparation of the constitution was being done. Moreover, in our second session, formation of the number of the states which were called as a princely states, how they become the part of India, how do the three states like Junagadh, Hyderabad, and Jammu and Kashmir become the part of India. And now in this session, in this our last segment of this chapter, India after independence, let us learn regarding the Europeans who were still in this country called as India. And the two Europeans still were there, one European called as a French and another European called as a Portuguese, who was the first to come to the India and who was the last to go out of the India. Now, before moving to this, now there was a topic. Let us learn regarding about the whom, about the French. We have studied in our first chapter, Advent of Europeans to India, where after the three Carnatic wars, after the three Carnatic war, the places like Karikal, right, Chandranagar, Puducherry or Puducherry or Pondicherry, Karikal, Chandranagar, Puducherry, Mahe, right? These places still were under the hands of the French, whom under the hands of the French, as British restricted them into these places, right? Hyderabad, we already said how it went into the hands of the whom, on the hands of the India. Now, Karikal, Chandranagar, Puducherry, Mahe, these places were under the hands of the French, and still they were there in this country called as India, even after the what? Even after the independence. It was been found from the 1954 onwards, from 1954 onwards, as the people saw that many of the areas become the part of India. Our own people, our brothers and sisters, they are the part of India. Then why we should remain in the hands of the whom? In the hands of the European called as a French. They too felt that they should also become the part of the India, which caused what it is that the number of satyagrahis from the Karikal, Chandranagar, Puducherry, Mahe, right? Okay, the communists, all together they joined their hands and they revolted against whom? Against the rule of the French, which caused what it is that French, now he understood, he got to know that it has to be handed over in the hands of the India, otherwise there is no other option. However, if they go with the hard action also, then also they are going to be defeated. If happily also given, then also they have to give it. So cause what it is, French handed over Karikal, Chandranagar, Puducherry, Mahe in the hands of the home, in the hands of the Indians, and in this way these all places also become the part of India. Puducherry become the union territory. Puducherry become the union territory, or Pondicherry become the union territory from the 1962 onwards. We see it. Okay, until today it has been there. So in this way, what we see that French gave Karikal, Chandranagar, Puducherry, Mahe. These are places which belongs to the French, which belongs to the European. Now they too become the part of it and part of the India. In the same way, there is the first European and the last European, right? Portuguese. Who is this? Portuguese, who was having the place called as Goa in their hand. Portuguese saw French gave up their territories, English gave that in their territories in the hands of the Indians, Dutch already is not there, and many other princely states which were been there, now they have become the part of the India. He knows everything, but he was not ready to give up the Goa in the hands of Indians. To keep this Goa in the hands of themselves, they brought the soldiers from the Africa and from the Asia to keep this Goa in their hand. But our people, Indians, Satyagrahis from all over the Goa and outside of the Goa. Satyagrahis from the Goa and outside of the Goa. All together, they entered into the entered into the state called as a Goa. They opposed to them to the Portuguese rule, and even requested the Indian to send its army to fight against whom? Against the soldiers of the Portuguese. And result caused what it is that Indian army was being sent, Portuguese army was being defeated, and the place called as Goa, right? 1961. The place called as a Goa become the part of which one? Part of the India. In this way, even now Europeans also moved from the country called as India, and India become a big territory. Now India is India. But one biggest problem, one more arose after the independence. It was related to as the new problem. It was not that Indian government was running the administration properly. It was not about that. It was about it was about that the states which were been there or the people who were been there, they wanted their territories to be made on the basis of which one? Linguistic in the sense on the basis of language, right? On the basis of languages it should be done. People were happy that they are in the country called as India, but people, right, group of people who wanted to have their own territorial area with the common language, and which caused what it is that it was decided by the Indian government after the death of Potti Sri Ramamallu, 58 days fast, who did a revolt to against the government to create a new state with a language, with a common language called as a Telugu language. Andhra Pradesh, demand of Andhra Pradesh with a common language called as a Telugu. After doing a 58 days of the fast, Potti Sri Ramamallu dies. The people revolt increased, which caused what it is that it was decided that in the year 1953 that the state has to be created, and the new state was being created on the base of language called as Telugu, Andhra Pradesh. But do this park will remain silent? Answer is no. When Andhra Pradesh was being created, when the state was being created on the basis of the Telugu language, now one more new journey began of the making of the states on the basis of the languages. K.M. Panikar, H.N. Kunzro was being handed over the authority to have a survey and to find out the area, the number of population, what type of language they speak. And K.M. Panikar and his team gave a report, and according to that report, in the year 1953, now what we see that in the parliament, state reorganization act was being passed, and according to that state reorganized state, many of the new states were being created on the basis of language. Our Karnataka, the Kannada people, also under the Karnataka Sahitya Parishad, Karnataka Ekikaran Mahasamiti, we too had revolted, and we too got a state called as a Vishal Mysore state with a language called as a Kannada. In this way, many number of states were being created, and today we are having 28 states. So this was all about the chapter called as India after independence. Hope you have understood. If any more queries are there, you can comment, right? Make your friends to share these videos, and always watch the videos up to the end, then only you will get a proper clarification of that. Let us meet with one more new chapter in our next session. Thank you.